Okay, run a food drive.
No, it's just even
specifically support and expand not limited to one once a month, but expand it. And look for it has an opportunity to serve food in our community.
Maybe we run a food drive until now until Pascha, with the goal of our Pascha making this donation. And it's very measurable during our tithing period.
Take that to the White House too.
There we go. So that could be
that's a great goal.
Specific goal, very timely.
the cool thing. I know what helps me is we have freezers too, so we can do like raw meat cheese, right? We still get that stuff in places like that. That's one of the biggest problems with those places is they get a lot of crap. And we should or even just meat or cheese or coffee.
Perfect. So yeah, when we talk about starting, so what we should probably have is obviously a meeting about the food drive before we kick it off, and then we can talk about those guidelines that help
The White House gives you what they need.
So what I understand.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Then we can just have that.
They've been on radio CTQ. Wait a minute, we haven't got this. So this is what we're looking
Then we should get that list from them and we can post that. Perfect.
And it may be measurable. We say hierarchs once a month with 5 certain pounds worth of food. And then when we communicate, we get the whole way. Let someone go to Costco and get a whole bag of rice.
So if you remember from yesterday, Chris's comment was, ask that question, if you close your doors tomorrow, would anybody notice, right? So you have an opportunity with these goals to say, oh, that's the church that does this.
That's right.
We know in the community. That's the church that supplies the baby supplies. That's the church that does food drives or clothing drives for the homeless. That's what we're after here with this.
It's like the one with Boy Scouts. Those guys at Boy Scouts have really good Scouts.
Yeah, every Sunday morning I go for a long walk. I walk up.
Okay, let's try to wrap things up now and come back together. Or actually, you can stay in your areas.
The other morning, they had a line of cars.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I was a clothing drive. You get in line.
I remember during COVID, they had a bunch of donations of potatoes and onions, and they made a radio like, "Hey, we got too much." So I remember I went there and picked them up. I was like, "They want to go to waste."
Well, if you build to something like that, people would know. We start small, and we not only serve.
So I think our two service goals is to do a food drive and then also to expand our existing outreach ministry to increase the frequency at Lighthouse and find one single additional opportunity outside of Lighthouse to expand our reach.
And we got to find out what his ministry is.
So there are two clearly defined goals.
There go King Tony.
And then we'll do it within, let's just say, 8 Sundays.
Kelly, let's do a different year.
How about 2 more nights? Okay. Does that sound good for you? Wait, what?
We still need to get together. Because something I want to talk about. It just buzzed.
All right.
We got to go back to our original.
So much done. Yes. Wenatchee City. We solved the hunger problem.
All right. So
Orange Man Red.
So I'll kind of issue an apology and beg your forgiveness. I assume that everyone here was well aware of the ministries of your parish. Did I assume correctly or incorrectly?
Incorrect. They were better defined before COVID. Many of them stopped functioning at that point. We're going to be back.
So, in Greek parishes, the parish is co-ministered by the priest and the parish council, right? And the parish council has the fiduciary responsibility, but also, more importantly, their responsibility is to provide oversight and to, together with the priest, form the ministries of the parish. So, can you do a quick list of your ministries? So get a list of the active ministries. Shout them out. We know there's no Sunday school formally, right?
Those are youth ministry.
Youth ministry, okay.
That's primarily teenagers.
Lighthouse Ministry.
Lighthouse ministry.
It's a community service.
We have our property development committee, which is also the building committee.
Building committee.
We have a stewardship council.
Stewardship council.
Chanters and choir.
I believe we have a hospice care.
Burial committee.
Burial committee, thank you. Burial committee.
Oh.
Isn't there landscaping committee?
Landscaping?
I would say maintenance.
Maintenance.
Yep.
I don't know what the committee that the Kebab Fest is on. What is that? That's like a
Fundraising.
It's
Fundraising.
no, I thought it was like a
Outreach.
Fundraising. Mostly fundraising.
Yeah.
I know that.
Baking.
Prosperous.
We could be a little bit better organized on that, I suppose.
I know at times we've had like a men's ministry group, and I think the women have something.
we have a ladies group, but at times meets every month and every month.
Sounds like it's active. Ladies group or ministry. Women's ministry.
We do have a communications ministry.
Decorating.
Beautification.
Decorating.
We're also feasts and everything. Yeah.
City committee.
Do we have all those?
Basketball ministry.
Is the Kebab Fest its own ministry, or?
I think we've been under fundraising.
Fundraising.
Or festival.
Okay.
Or a festival.
It is, okay, so fun.
Or a festival. You can do festival.
Because fundraising, like, we'll be fundraising for the church.
I think maybe we're a subcommittee.
So festival committee.
We have fellowship teams still.
Yeah. I mean, Kebab Fest didn't start, I don't think it was a fundraiser. I think it was more like a church group, a thing that we did, and that's kind of really grown. So, yeah, it's been a different community.
I just wonder if that's.
It was outreach, I think, at first.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about it. That's an appropriate committee for the Kebab Fest. To have them as a fundraising.
We also have Daniel Doers, who's our welcoming ministry, one-man welcoming ministry.
Greeters.
Yeah.
So while you were discussing, I went into the narthex and I picked up your visitors packet. And I brought it to the witness group. And I made an observation, something that happened in our parish. that ours originally was kind of that big, but then a visitor could not put them in their purse or pocket, so we shrunk it for less information. That really was more effective than people actually taking it. So we had all these packets that were larger, nobody took, made them smaller. Anyway, somebody in the group said, I've never seen our visitor packet. Okay. Any other ministries? All right. All right, let's start with worship. What are your goals?
We had a couple different goals. One of them was to update the printed Divine Liturgy booklet.
What's the time on
We put everything about 3 months, so in June.
it? Within 3 months?
3 months to have something ready to be published to go to printing.
Can you do a completed? Can you do it like a completed, to have the Divine Liturgy book completed
Completed by
within
3 months.
Yeah, within 3 months. It was basically pushing it so that we have enough time after Lent. So,
June is 5 months.
Sorry, can you restate?
Today's
February 1, right?
so and have a printed Divine Liturgy booklet for guests.
within
And it'd be updated, so
Within-
it's within 4 months, I guess.
Is there, can we put an actual date on that?
they want to do.
By
You do
what?
so as you date or
From today, like
May 1st.
May 1st.
June, by June 1st.
Just a month.
Okay,
Um,
is that specific? Measurable? Attainable? Realistic? Is there a timeline to ensure completion and accountability? Okay, good. You have a second goal?
We do. One is, I'll include the one for incorporating a Friday compline service twice a month, after Lent. So we go from having so many services during Lent, and then it's providing an additional service.
And that was in conjunction with youth group night, right?
That's an option, yeah, that we could pursue, that it would be like right before youth group.
Friday comp line after?
After Lent, and it would be, say, twice a month, starting after Lent. So.
Not like Bright Week.
No, not like right.
All right. Specific? Measurable? Attainable? Realistic? Timely? You have a third goal?
Yeah, I think the other ones were just,
Great.
but those were the two specific ones.
Great, good job. Service.
Okay, first one is we'd like to establish an annual food drive that begins at Pascha and ends at the breaking, at the resurrection. And then making that donation.
You mean during Great Lent?
During Great Lent, yes, yeah, for Great Lent, exactly. And then for now, because it's going to support our lighthouse ministry, we're going to coordinate with them on what needs they need so that our donation will align with what they actually need for food. So we'd like to do that on an ongoing basis each Lent.
Just a reminder, during Lent, the Archdiocese does, they ask us to do collections, almsgiving.
Yes, this would be in addition.
I hear you. I'm just suggesting that we may have too much going on. But I'm just asking, I'm just bringing it up. The Food for Hungry People thing, it's not as official as it used to be. Because we used to send the money into the Archdiocese. Now we're supposed to send it locally, I believe.
Could this be a Food for Hungry People project?
It could be, we could even use the money to buy stuff, so I think it'll work.
And then our second goal was to expand our current Lighthouse food ministry to increase the frequency of how, right now we do it once a month and maybe twice a month.
You can say that.
And we
Spend
would-
it from one
yeah.
time once.
And our timeline is to have a plan for that in eight Sundays, which do it on Sunday, make it simple. So that would be 60 days or 2 months.
What's the deadline, did you say?
60 days from
First, so,
yeah.
so there's my April.
April 1st. That's it.
Thank you. Good job. Witness.
So our goal is to create a witness team, instead of doing what I call it, create a witness team within 3 months. I thought 6, but I got voted off. Nobody here is in second and then our second goal of that is to identify and define a scope of work for the team. And then,
You said 3, right?
yeah, so.
Yeah. May 1st.
And then we talked about within that, like, working on the welcome packet.
Yeah, so the second part is, the second part of that is to define and identify the scope of work of the team.
We got that.
Oh, okay. And then as part of that, as a subset of that, is with an emphasis on our greetings and welcoming. So like our welcome packet, we threw out a bunch of ideas like the name of guests to our fathers so that they can welcome them easier.
Make sure you ask them in the narthex that they want to be greeted publicly.
Yeah. There was a bunch of ideas under that, but we were going to focus on the greetings and updating our welcoming packet would be our first goals. 6 months for that. 6 months.
So just like a process, like get a team, then figure out what they're going to do, and the emphasis being on how we greet people and bring them into the church.
Yeah. Start working on.
And then the outreach opportunities or the evangelism opportunities that they come up with after that.
Great.
I think, Father, we had a lot of really good ideas for specific things to do.
Yeah.
But that's part of figuring out the scope is because there's too much. And so it's like, which ones are priorities and which ones are maybe not important for us to do.
Or just not realistic to do right now, where you're at.
We did identify the importance of our own personal prayer life and attendance in church and how that's going to be something we need to encourage each other to be consistent on so that as we're welcoming people, we're presenting ourselves.
Where are you all at with continuing the process of videotaping people telling their story, their journey in Orthodoxy?
We were actually
Josh was doing that, wasn't he?
well, and then we had a couple of meetings. Chuck and Father Michael and a couple other people had some meetings about it, and we decided it kept coming back to what's our vision, and so we kind of put it on the back burner until we could figure out what our actual mission statement is and what our vision is before we started making videos. Is that correct, Father Michael? Is that right?
I don't remember it that way.
You don't?
I remember it more about wanting to make sure we had some actual content from the building project so we could really focus more on how the founders started this church and then we're continuing on to building the church and using it as a fundraising tool, not using people as tools, but using the whole concept as a tool to sort of communicate what we're trying to do. And we have not gotten the visual aids quite yet.
Yeah, I think that in that context, it's really a part of the fundraising, the building, the church fundraising committee that has yet to be developed. In that capacity, we need to have a parish-wide vote once we get the cost of the construction of the church, which is happening soon. So we're really on pace for end of this month, end of February, developing a fundraising team, and that's something that we've discussed as kind of a kickoff to fundraising for the legitimate, the Archdiocese has us requiring a vote of the entire church before we proceed with that. So
there's a lot of videos of recent converts that are really done well, but what I was hoping to do is connect with the founders and the people who have been here originally and their vision for this, and how this is the foundation for what we hope to attain. And that's the fundraising element of what I was thinking.
But consider that you might be missing an opportunity because for someone who visits your website for the first time, the best thing that could happen is that they saw people that look like them and people who have similar stories as theirs. Because
I think that was the original intent.
we're the Greek, St. George Greek Orthodox Church. Number one reason people don't check us out is that we're Greek.
Oh, we have that then. I mean, there's a lot of great videos already, but they're all, my recollection is all converts.
So
recent, it's not that converts are bad. That it's all people that have been here in the last couple of years, nothing from the original.
The founder story is really powerful as well. Like the first picture you'll see on our website is our whole parish standing in front of the iconostasis here. And so a stranger, that person doesn't look foreign, or it looks like me. Oh, the person has blonde hair or brown hair, or no hair. So.
Well, I was thinking, it's been a long time since we had that meeting, but I thought that we were making videos for purposes of evangelism, outreach, and we were going to try to, maybe we were tying it into the building.
That was my
understanding. I think, but the gist of the videos were, why is it wonderful that there's an Orthodox church in Wenatchee? What, why am I glad that there was an Orthodox church here?
We brought it back to the mission statement. That's what I was saying, it kept coming back to what is our core focus.
So it's not about my personal journey to Orthodoxy, right. It's more, gotcha. Okay, something to consider. All right, fellowship.
Okay, we have a long list. Number 1, identify a fellowship leader and committee to help coordinate and plan in the next 2 weeks. So by
Woo!
Oh,
wow! Wow!
That's McCrena's group.
Number 2, develop
He's not written it
So identify a fellowship leader and team.
Leader.
and committee.
Are you serious?
And committee.
Oh, okay.
Within how many days? 60 days?
2 weeks.
14 days? Oh my goodness. Father Mike, wow. Okay, second one.
Number 2, develop a calendar of monthly events to
provide fellowship for our parish by March 1st, and we already have a very good list.
Can you say that again? I didn't hear.
Develop a calendar of monthly events to promote fellowship.
Love it.
And publish in the bulletin and in the newsletter.
And communicate accordingly.
What was the timeline on that?
March 1st.
I'm glad I'm not a priest of this parish. I'd have roller skates.
We're not done yet.
That's fine, they can do it.
We're gonna put the fellowship cleanup list in the newsletter and bulletin every week. So that people know and can be reminded that they're on cleanup.
I already thought of that idea and then I forgot.
That's something that.
I did it for a few weeks.
Hopefully early. And then, resume monthly women's gatherings and identify a leader to coordinate the gatherings. And a time, I feel like we can also probably do that in next month. By March 1st, like, these are not hard things, like, we're just identifying.
I already have a structure for that.
Yeah. Just resuming it.
Just resuming it.
Yeah. We need a coordinator.
And the next, when you're ready.
Okay.
So, develop a plan for small group dinners, including choirs and catechumens. I think we're gonna give ourselves a quarter. So we're gonna not start this until May. Because
May 1st?
When you say start, do you mean have the plan?
Develop.
Yes.
Develop.
We're gonna develop a plan.
By May 1st.
And then the last thing is work on a plan to update coffee hour. Incorporating our goal for health.
May.
We need our goals for health.
Maha, baby, Maha.
No ultra high processed food.
We'll develop a healthy list for.
We're gonna make a list.
To
We're gonna
choose
make
from.
a list of
Love it.
healthy snacks and have it more coffee hour, not necessarily a meal. And we wanna do this soon.
By tomorrow. Starting tomorrow.
Oh yeah, March 1st. So actually, is it March? It'll be like March 14th or whenever the first week of Lent is. March 3rd is the first.
This one could meet resistance.
Is it just an option? It doesn't move.
Because we all haven't eaten since like before, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you, fellowship. You're an awesome job. And the last was discipleship. And there was only one person that, besides Chris and I, that came back to talk about discipleship. And he's
Not a member
Daniel,
of the parish.
not a member of the parish. But we did come up with an idea.
I did come up with a goal for you guys to do.
You got it. His grandfather.
All right, Daniel, why don't you share that?
Again, this might be a restart, but we wrote start an education ministry by June 1st, or maybe restart, as the case may be. When I was here, there wasn't really an education ministry. There might have been in the past, I understand.
which would include, we also talked about including adult, children, and already going youth ministry of, as far as education would fall under that. We won't necessarily change anything, but just formalize it.
What do you mean by that? Sunday school?
Sunday school, book study classes, anything.
I would say something like create more opportunities for education.
We wrote down a ton of other stuff too. What did you have that?
Well, yes, I did write down a lot of things. But for the education ministry, they probably want to talk about what do you want to do? Adult, kid, inquirers, book studies. Who's going to teach these classes? Like for kids, are you going to use a curriculum? Or are you just going to make it up on your own? Are you going to do book studies? Who's going to pick the books? Who's going to lead it?
That'll be up to the team.
Yeah, up to the team. What kind of schedule do you want to do? Is it all year round? Is it only during the school year? And this is for the education ministry to think of. But I took the liberty of writing it down.
And other retreats.
If you want to have retreats, like bringing in someone like Father Jerry or other speakers who give retreats, could fall into that potentially.
That's a sponsor are looking to hosting
with the blessing of Father Michael.
Two retreats a year or something like that.
And our timeline was June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So we were less optimistic.
Less energetic.
Good, because you're going to go on to fellowship. No.
Well, we already host the teen retreat, which is an educational
opportunity
for teens. So we're already halfway there, right?
So I mentioned this to Daniel and Chris. So St. Vladimir's, Brother Michael, I don't know if you knew that it started cohorts in last September, to train lay catechists. Parishes across the country are experiencing the same thing you're experiencing. There's just a ton of people looking into Orthodox, like a wave of people. And they're jumping into the boat, not really fishing for them very much. And so I, as a priest, was overwhelmed, having 15 to 20 in my own parish, 15 in the mission church in Roseburg. McMinnville is also withdrawing inquirers and so forth. And so somebody in my parish, a lay person who's has a gift in this way, and so we got him signed up for the cohort, and in a few months he'll be certified by the church as a lay catechist. And again, this is to meet the need, right? It can't be all on the priest to do catechism. So the priest, of course, has to discern the gifting of a person and so forth, and it would make it for a good catechist now. But I don't know, there's something that...
There's probably also a lot of, I was talking with Father, practical things that go along with catechism too. Material printing, there's even administrative type things that can help, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Father Michael, I wanted to get some ideas from you on what sort of educational opportunities you might be interested in. So, Bible study? Book study? What else?
Movie study.
Bible study.
Movie study. I mean, it's a kind of like a movie. A movie can bring out a lot of discussion. And learning.
Yeah. What other types of, what should be interesting?
Like a women's retreat that focuses on some of the unique pieces that women within the family and within the church deal with. And
how about pilgrimages? What else?
Book group.
Book group? A tour of the library?
We are librarian heavy in this one. Really, librarians should pick up a little bit more.
Someone brought up.
Do you have a lending library?
We do, yes.
Yes.
Someone brought up in our group, it didn't really fall under fellowship, but visiting the monastery. A group visiting the monastery. we have a close nearby mountains.
And taking hostage all those people that left you.
Bringing them back.
But would that help? Some ideas?
It helps too much.
You have a team to help you.
We used to have Sunday school, and we rotated through teachers for the kids, and I think it was during Orthodox. Or I can't remember. Was it during Orthodox?
It was during
And then they
Orthodox.
would join us in Divine Liturgy. But I want to say maybe we stopped that before COVID. I can't remember why it stopped, but it just didn't pick back up again. And I don't know, since my kids are all teenagers now, I don't know if there's an interest in resuming that or not with some of the younger kids or not.
There is.
Okay.
We lost our teachers for one reason or another, as I remember.
I want to go
And I know that Father Josiah has, at Patricia Nectar, they have an excellent catechism program that's online. That I recommend for my parishioners. I don't, there's many flowers to draw nectar from, so I don't think catechism should just be, it's got to be approved by the priest, but I think I do share other Father Christos at Holy Trinity Cathedral in Portland does an excellent catechism program. So.
Our archdiocese, our metropolitan put together a committee, catechism committee, because he wants to make sure everything's covered. And I was on that committee. I am on that committee. We just gave him a set of outlines for a comprehensive catechism. So we'll see what he says, but we will have something we're supposed to follow.
Great.
Basically.
Great.
Father Jerry, may I suggest assigning someone to each of these goals, like who's going to be responsible for making sure that this happens by June 1st or whatever day?
Or maybe assigning someone.
Or a team, perhaps, I don't know.
Assigning someone to be a lead on worship, fellowship,
Sure.
all the different ones.
I think it's a good idea. McCree gets to be the head of all of them.
Isn't the first?
You have to move the timelines up.
So parish council member will then become a liaison to these. Because remember, one of your goals is to get more people involved.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, would they assign the people then, or how would you go by volunteer?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
It's a good suggestion, but I think that's for you all to decide how you want to handle that going forward.
Yeah.
Not right now. Okay. And to be honest with you, it's kind of funny because when you do strategic goals, they're usually 3 to 5 years out. You guys are going to be done in like 2 months.
That's what you're
We should be full.
So, but on one hand, having a few goals for each area, right, that are pretty clear and specific and time limited, I think going through that process will create momentum. So I would encourage you to not stop. So in maybe 3 months from now, get together again and come up with additional goals. Maybe they're, you know what I'm saying? So this is an ongoing process. We've just begun today. It's not complete.
Don't we need to have a list of who is on those different teams?
Yeah, so you might want to communicate to the whole parish that we met this weekend to do strategic planning, and these are the teams that we've come up with as part of our goals. And if you have an interest in being on one of these teams, contact so on, so forth, someone.
The lead person on that team.
Yeah.
With their phone number.
Because today was just about people going to something they're interested in, but maybe they don't want to continue in that role. So, it's a member of the team. Yes.
So are these 5 our new ministries? We have to take the ministries that we have and merge them together. What do we?
Yeah, these aren't ministries; are just teams.
These are just the teams.
But you're going to create additional ministries, I think, out of this, like an evangelism ministry.
Comes out of the witness.
Yeah.
Team.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Greater ministry.
Well, they're gonna get together. They're gonna discuss the scope of the, what their activities are going to be, and so forth and so on. And then at the end, you'll have an evangelism team, a new ministry of the parish.
So are you saying then that at the next parish council meeting, these are assigned as MIA agents? So one parish council member would be over worship, and another would be over service, and another would be.
That's what I would suggest. That a parish council member is assigned as liaison to support the work of each team.
And then they work with that team leader if they're not that team leader.
Yeah, I would say that they not be the.
Oh, so no, for sure.
We want more people involved. So, but they're just liaisons. They're not.
I'm good.
Because parish council members are already serving on the ministry team called the parish council. So I would recommend that you meet again to kind of refine the goals and the vision and so forth, and these goals, and then find a way to present what we did last night and today to the parish as a whole, communicated, and then begin implementing really quickly, especially in fellowship, and then review in about three months, and then 6 months, and so forth. And just repeat the process. Repeat the process. You did all the work, right? Just now. So you came up with the goals.
Mike and I traveled last year, and we visited churches as we traveled, and we kind of focused on how they did things. Mm-hmm. Some churches have someone from each of their committees report at the end of liturgy. It was like they came up and said,
I love it.
Here's what's going on. Here's what we need to do.
I love it. You cannot over communicate in a parish.
So, and it wasn't left for the priest to have to do. Yeah. It was the person in charge of that ministry or that. So the priest would be like standing back and being there, but everyone got up and just briefly would give a recount of what was needed.
Yeah. We also, what we do is we have ministry leaders come to parish council meetings once or twice a year to give a report on how things are going.
I like that.
So that the whole parish council can know. Yeah, their liaison knows, but the whole parish council gets to hear. And then at parish assemblies, we also do ministry reports. The ministry leader gets up and gives a report. Again, it's been a great blessing for me and my wife to be here with you. I'm really, really excited about your potential and the good work that you started here, that God started here, that you're going to grow and it's look forward. We're going to come visit again here soon and see how things are going. Not to check in on you, but
You should come back in 2 weeks.
Any final thoughts or questions or comments?
Do you follow up with this program in other churches? How did it work?
Yeah. it works best in a parish like yours that's smaller and people are willing to be vulnerable and honest and people that are really invested. For instance, the mission parish in Salem, Chris and I were a part of, and Sarah, it's a parish that had to set up and break down every time we met for worship, right? My parish in Eugene, the bricks in the front of the church, they're all laid by parishioners. We have a picnic shelter that was all built by parishioners. The addition, the classrooms, were all built by parishioners, And so the more you do that, the better. And so, it works best when people are committed to the process and willing to give of their time and talent to keep the dialogue going, keep the discussion going. When they're invested fully in this strategic plan is your plan. You own it, right? It's you. It's got to be organic. It's got to come from you. It can't be imposed and so forth. So just keep those things in mind. So it does result in growth and health in the parishes. It does. It's like new fresh water coming into a pond, right? So. That's it.
So maybe as a follow up, I'm gonna type all this up and then we'll disseminate it so everybody can see it and have it, and then we can keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father Jerry.
Thank you.
We were scheduled to have Great Vespers at 4 o'clock, and I'm concerned that people are going to come at 4 o'clock, and it is now 2:50. So, any suggestions, worship team?
Come back and forth.
I'd love to do it now, but are we cleaned up in the fellowship?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We can clean this up in here.
Yeah, we can put our chairs back. Have a little fellowship.
Send out an email?
Send out an email at 2:50 that Vesper's going to be at our
Well, I think what it would do is indicate that they don't show up at 4 thinking they're going to have it.
Yeah, at least it's out there.
And I left my phone at home. So I can't access the parish list.
Small compliment to him now.
It's gonna take us 15 to 20 minutes to get ready, get the lamps lit, to change the icon, to do all that stuff anyway, so you're not gonna be getting a lot.
It'll be 4 o'clock by the time we're ready.
Fellowship.
Let's put together this room back together.
There are free cookies too next door.
Cookies.